G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 9 of our Hardcore Death Knight Achievements run. A little bit of housekeeping before we get underway here. The first thing I'd like to mention is a quick thank you to the commenter Where's Wally 8695 on the last video. He pointed out that I missed a devotion shrine up here, and he's absolutely correct, so I'm just going to poke my head up this way and go get that. I will also take this opportunity to point out just how ridiculously tanky we are. You'll note these are level 43, 42, there's probably some 41s, yeah there's 41s around here as well. And we can just stand in this mess, and that's it. We don't take damage. A lot of this is due to the Juggernaut relic. I am 100% confident we are not going to die here, so I'm just going to stand in that. And the other thing we need to do is sort out our devotions. So I'm just going to yell these things to death. Grab that scavenge plating. And we are going to take a quick trip down to the Conclave of the Three. So because we have finished the base campaign, the spirit guide in Devil's Crossing has died or moved somewhere else, or is otherwise unavailable. So I'm going to use Begala here, and what we are going to do is we're going to reclaim our point from the crossroads, and we are going to drop the Fox. Now, the Fox is a nice enough devotion, I guess, but now that we have the attack damage converted to health from the Toad, we don't need that anymore. We also just heal ridiculous amounts, so we don't need that. We are, however, going to take the Assassin's Blade. So this is Fizz damage, defensive ability, Fizz damage, offensive ability. These 4 nodes are basically just there, so as this costs you 5 points. We're going to put that on Force Wave. This is, it seems like it's 1% per level, so we should end up with around 33%, but we'll see how the scaling goes. This is physical resistance shred. Whenever we crit with Force Wave, this will apply this debuff to either what we hit or something in the area if what we hit is now dead. And that will mean that whatever we hit now takes extra damage from physical. Our next devotion is going to be the Dire Bear, and again we're looking for this proc at the end of it, although a lot of this stuff is just really good. Physical damage and armor, stats, health, all the good stuff you want. And the other thing I wanted to do is point out that I have swapped the silk swatch that was on the pants that we don't need, is now an ancient armor plate, and I swapped out the scaled hide that I had on the chest plate, and I put another ancient armor plate on there. One thing you will note about these is that though they have much less increased armor absorption percentage than the scaled hide, I went from 99%, I think, down to 96. It's a little bit less. But what these do have is the flat armor on these 2 items, but also 8% increased armor for both of these, and that 8% is applied across our entire setup. Okay, with that out of the way, I believe it's time to get underway with the Ashes of Malmoth. So let's head to the Burridge Village and go for a jog down the road. And of course, because I'm recording, this particular road is blocked, so we're just going to make our way through the buildings, back out onto the road, and continue on our way. Now, one thing I really like about this medal that I found last episode, and I actually had no idea this existed, but you get to do cool things like just shout rooms of things to death. The flat damage added onto that is enough that you can kill things with it. Especially if you happen to have the Flesh Warped Cask MI as well. You just yell and things die. It's kind of fun. Okay, so this is our first actual current level stuff. And Zolhan's Battle Plate. Again, that kind of feels like cheating. Alright. Let's have a look at that. So I love this already just for the armor. The physical damage is nice, physique is nice, chance to avoid projectile, all of this is really good stuff. Can I afford 20% chaos resistance? Yes, I can, so I am going to put that on. Double check the resistances. can you stop hitting me? And I'm actually going to head back to Devil's Crossing and get my ancient armor plate back. So we don't go anywhere without some sort of component on every single piece of gear, if we can help it, or if we're not being lazy. And I no longer need this, although just looking at it I may end up swapping to this, but it's hard to use something like this when it doesn't have any resistances at all. Okay, back to the Gloomwald. Aether Cluster, very nice. So basically what we do for this first little part here is we follow the road, we stomp everything that gets in our way, and continue onwards. Let's see if I can't get the Force Wave proc to go. It's a little blue sword icon. No, it doesn't look like it wants to proc on these. What is that crit chance actually? Yeah, just shy of 10%, shouldn't be too hard to get. Whoops. Let's see if we can't get it to proc. There it is. So that little blue crossed swords with the skull, that is the proc from Assassin's Blade, and that tells us that we are going to do extra physical damage to that target. I won't say it's worthless on these sorts of monsters, but it's not super useful. I'm just going to sell that. The proc on the battle cry proc on this is really nice. Total speed is really good, but the uptime on it is not amazing, and that doesn't have any resistances at all, so it's hard to justify it. Okay. Gloomwald is one of my favorite areas in the game, and the reason why is that I do a lot of farming here. And the monsters here are relatively tanky, so if you can't kill these, you'll know you have a damage problem. And the damage that you take here can be a little bit rippy as well sometimes, at least on Ultimate. But the other good things is a guaranteed treasure trove or 2 for each little run through this area, a totem or 2 for each little run through this area, and just all around good stuff. Okay, treasure trove could be here. It's not, but it could be. Burning Bloom here. Let's go ahead and kill him. That's a decent increase in armor, unfortunately not a decent increase in resistances. Just here you could find a totem. This will be a savage totem, and you can do that one relatively easily. We don't have Nemesis obviously with the beasts, but once you do, you'll find Chupacabra here about once in every... I don't know, it seems like it's a lot. I would say maybe once every 10 runs or so you'll find him here. He has 1, 2, at least 3 spawn points just here. And then he also has a few more on the other side of this cellar, which we are going to go into. One thing I will note, these crabs, the yellow ones, have a chance of dropping a belt with +1 to soldier skills. Our level up points are going straight into the bar until we get to Spectral Wrath and Physique, because Physique. What I'm looking for in a belt like this, I want some Aether resistance, some Chaos wouldn't go astray. Basically any kind of resistances are good. The acid converted to physical, honestly I don't care, but that increased armor percentage I think goes up to 12, so 8% I believe is the minimum roll, but I definitely want more than 8%. It will of course depend on what the affixes are, so something that has resistances you want, and then also maybe of attack for some offensive ability, or even just resistances on their own would be good. That node I picked up named Stash, this is a quest. You will only be able to finish this quest in Ultimate difficulty, because it is the start of a secret quest, but for normal and expert, it's also for Exalted Stash, so there's no point not getting it. This Spirit Totem is 50-50 chance if it's going to be here. This is always Ancient, so I do recommend avoiding Ancient Totems for the moment. If you have the Juggernaut Relic, you probably can kill it. If you are a better pilot than I am, you probably can kill it. But I'm going to recommend still avoiding ancient totems. I will say you can do any kind of Forsaken totems now. Should be relatively easy. Just here, this is Avarice's house. Avarice lives here. And if you get into Avarice's face, there is a good chance that she will one-shot you. Maybe not on this build, actually. But I have had her one-shot my characters before. So just be aware that she is potentially very rippy. This is the other location for the treasure trove. There will be one here or over here. Those are the only two places it can spawn. And there is one in every single game. So if you're looking for treasure troves, this is one of my favorite places to find them. Because they're guaranteed, and because there's one outside as well, you get two. I don't know if anyone's interested in this, but there's a little secret area back here. You knock this wall down, and come back here, and then go inside this tree, and there's some hidden remains. Which, I mean, potentially you could get a decent item out of that. That's not horrible, but not very good, and same for that as well. Do keep an eye out for rare rings, especially on the vendor. Just go find a triple rare ring from the vendor. That's what I do. Good luck with that, by the way. Okay, this is another one of the locations for the treasure trove that's outside. The other location is, as I mentioned, back here, and also there's another spot up here. There's only 3 spots it could be. And let's go ahead and grab our devotion shrine. Alright, what do we get? Nothing. Nothing that I'm interested in. Stonehide is pretty good. That'll give us % armor. 3 good resistances on that. Bleeding, piercing, and poison are all pretty good. I can't really use them though because it would uncap our chaos res, so we're just going to probably sell those. This is another location for the Savage Totem out here. It'll be either here or over here, or potentially up in the top corner. So there's no reason not to do base difficulty totems. It's free loot and XP. Potentially you can get some good blueprints from this as well. Okay, and from here we head north. This area can be a little rippy. If you're not careful and you run in here like you own the place, you could potentially die here. I have had games where there's been 4 elites here, so the ones with the stars over their head, and then also Pakla has spawned here. So this can be an incredibly rippy area, so just be a little bit careful. Alright, let's go and save Old Love's dad. So we're not going to hurt him, and we are going to stuff him into a rift gate. Alright, next up, we picked up the note about Nain's stash, and so now we're going to go and blow it wide open. So if you didn't pick up the note, this detonation site won't be here, and you won't be able to get in here. So pick up the note, because there is basically an exalted stash in here. Dreadnought footpads are not bad. The rest of this area is ultimate only, so it's basically just this chest for us. Since we're in the area, this top left corner here, just here. If you haven't found your totem in this area by now, it's going to be here. If you don't find it here, it's either a bug or you missed it. There's only 3 places it can be, so it's probably going to be there. This little cellar door is where you can find Avarice if she's not in the previous little cellar. And it's also where you can find your totem, if your totem happens to have not been in the previous cellar as well. I think there's a 3rd area it could be, but I never go looking for it, so I'm not sure where that 3rd area is. Okay, into the Gloomwald. Now all we need to do while we're in the Gloomwald is kill stuff because XP, but also we need to kill Caraxes, and there's a little bit of a farming route you can do here, which you may not want to. That's fine. But these rotting stumps, if you pop them open, they will usually, although now that I'm talking about it, it didn't, they will usually drop you an Ugdenbloom, or two. Now, if you are going to play, once we get to 100, if you want to change this over to the Aether Death Knight that I have the showcase for on the channel, you will need a lot of Ugdenblooms to craft the conduit, the amulet. I think it's 8 or something Ugdenblooms per attempt to get the conduit that you want. It costs me, I think, 120 Ugdenblooms to get one cadence conversion to Aether conduit. So just be aware, it's going to be expensive to get that amulet. But it is worth it. It'll increase your damage a lot. It's one of the first upgrades I tried to get when I was making that character. So yeah, you come across there, you come down here into this little secret area, then down here, around the corner there'll be another one here. And then from here, you can head over this way. Do kill the Leaf Mane Alphas, they have a drop we want, same with these Basilisks, the yellow ones have a drop we want. And just down here is another one. Any of these that are red are going to drag themselves out of the ground and turn into a monster you have to kill. There's probably more from this point, but I usually would stop there and teleport to the Ancient Grove. We are not doing the Ancient Grove just yet. I believe the thing we want from the Ancient Grove doesn't spawn until something like level 60, maybe level 50. Regardless, my testing character went in there and I spent almost an hour resetting the merchant's inventory for him to just never have it. Which tells me that he doesn't have it until a higher level, because I have never had to reset his inventory even once on a veteran character. So I'm guessing he just has the prismatic diamond once you get to level, I don't know, 50, 60, whatever the level is. Regardless, we do not have the level to get it yet, and so we will not be going in there just yet. Alright, so I walked straight past the cave I needed to go into, so I'm going to get the, while I was waffling about Ugdenblooms, we walked past the cave we need for Caraxes. So I will pick up this rift, and I'm going to go back to Gloomwold Crossing. And the cave we need is sort of here-ish. I think this is the fastest way to get back there. Now there's nothing to dash to. I say as I find something to dash to. Okay, so it should just literally be just above the area where I stopped. It's at the back of this house, so should be relatively easy. The crabs in this cave are a good place to farm for a +1 to soldier skills belt. There's also the crabs in the mine next door to Barrowholm that are a good place to farm as well. Basically, for this entire part of the game, we are incredibly racist against crabs. All crabs must die. Or at least all the ones that run anywhere near us. Actually had pretty bad luck this run for this character. So when I ran through here on the testing character, the crabs dropped a lot more belts. Okay, here's our good friend Caraxes Fel, and just like all the other bosses we've fought, we stand in front of him and we force wave him until he dies. That belt looked interesting. So Prismatic is, I believe, elemental resistance, and of the void, chaos damage. I was thinking it might have had chaos resistance as well. Yeah, unfortunate. Oh well, it is what it is. Which may actually be the most useless sentence you can utter in the English language. Alright, Forsaken Savage, we can do that. These golems are a little bit worrying. Okay, Royal Jelly, Chest Guard of Perdition. Lovely. So the Perdition set is very good armor. You'll notice it has percent increase armor on the chest piece. I believe it has percent increase armor on every piece. And also the 2-piece set bonus. So you get a ton of armor from this set. It's also very common, but you're not going to get any physical damage from it. So this is an acid retaliation set. You can, if you perhaps you don't have the Zolhan's battle plate, maybe you're still using a level 20 Aether, what are they called? Not Aether Warped. Yeah, Aether Warped. Maybe you're still using a level 20 chest. You can swap that in. The armor increase alone will be worth it. So that's something to consider. Yeah, we didn't spend our devotion point, did we? So we're getting Dire Bear. We are heading for this proc. And that's going to go on Blitz, so then when we blitz at things, we will do an AoE that's going to shred their armor. Armor does apply to physical damage only, so we want to shred that as much as we can. Alright. Now that I have that, let's head back to the Coven. And there's a few things you can do once you're in the Coven. The obvious ones is all the quests. You'll get one from Garadia here, as well as completing one. There's also the new spirit guide here, Novi. So we've already done the respec, but if you didn't want to go into Forgotten Gods stuff to do it, you can finish doing your respec here. There is, if you rescued the witch in the Blood Grove, she will be here and she will give you some XP and reputation. There's also this Hidden Spoils and this chest here which has a lore note. Which we're going to eat because XP. And there's one more chest up here that has a lore note as well. Just here. For more XP. I know I mention this kind of semi-regularly when I start a series, but I don't usually mention it partway through. Read the lore notes, they're actually really good. You should be leaving here with three quests, I think. Find Barrowholm, rescue the witches. Maybe it's only 2. Yeah, 2 seems good. We're going to do a bunch of stuff out here anyway. A lot of it is quests that we wouldn't have access to until we had completed the ones we have already. Ugdenbog Girdle, lovely. What was that one? Of Ruin. I like the sound of Ruin. Where did it go? Okay, of Voidfire. That is not a +1 skills belt. Here we go, Mighty of Ruin. So the Ruin is going to be the physical damage and internal trauma damage, which is quite nice. The armor percent on that is, I think, the minimum roll, and a little bit of vitality res is not really what I'm after. One thing I will say is that I should have emptied my inventory while we're in there, so I'm going to go do that now.
I can't do that yet.
See anything you like?
Winning exactly 0 rewards for speedruns here. Actually, I will hang on to Perdition just in case I find another piece. Preferably, well, maybe not preferably the shoulders, but I was thinking about the shoulders because my current shoulders are actually really bad and need replacing. One thing I also need to talk about is the Tonic of Clarity here. And actually, I'm going to clear my rift and come back here and turn in the Lost Father quest, because Amalia here has another potion for us. So Amalia has the Tonic of Reshaping. Now, Tonic of Clarity, this, for me, is worth 27 Aether Crystals to reset this, or I can use a potion. So Tonic of Clarity, this is 27 Aether Crystals in a bottle, and every additional devotion point I get increases the value of this particular potion. This potion, however, is much more valuable. This will reset your attribute points, And I think you get 6 of these for a campaign. You get at least 3 because you do this quest once in each difficulty. But it may be 6. This is the only way to reset your attributes. And once you've used the potions you get from quests, the only way to get more of them is to kill nemesis monsters, which for a leveling build like this, that's not really an option. So be careful about those potions, hang on to them. We may end up using one of them just to get a few more points in spirit, depending on how much spirit we need for our rings. We may need a few more points, but I'm pretty sure 5 should be enough. Okay, back out into the swamps. There's a few quest items we want. We want the basilisks. Will drop I think it's bile, but they drop a quest item. The yellow basilisks do. The big tree men will drop the leaf mane alphas will drop another quest item we need. Level 44. We're now up to Spectral Wrath. This is where our next 10 points are going, so basically 3 1/3 levels are going to go into maxing out Spectral Wrath, and you will quickly see why that is one of my favorite skills in the game. It is incredibly powerful, especially if you're playing a Vitality or an Aether-based build. That skill is amazing. Okay, heading into Janaxia's den here. There's a few ghosts and stuff in here, but we're here for the witch at the end. What skill is that? Reaping Strike. Okay, there's a decent chance you're going to find a totem just here. You can do it or not. I believe it's a Forsaken. It hasn't spawned for me. The other cool thing here is there's a little secret hollow, so you can go in there and grab some iron bits in waiting. That reminds me, my iron bits are a little bit low. So I've only got 80,000. I need to get that a little bit higher. More is obviously better all of the time. Okay, Janaxia. Just for something different, we're going to stand still on Force Wave. And she's going to go down, pick up her weapon. You shouldn't be standing in this. This is kind of low damage, and we have enough healing procs that it should be fine, but it's definitely not a good idea to make that a habit. Okay, so we've killed her. I'm just checking the pants, although my pants are actually pretty good. So that's fine. Alright, let's get out of here. And we will continue heading north. We will be coming back. Maybe we'll do it in Elite. But we do want to go sort of down here and into the Ancient Grove at some point, because there is a blueprint for a Prismatic Diamond head component that we definitely want. However, like I said, I don't think it's sold until later in level, so we're not going there yet. Alright, making our way through the swamp. I always get turned around in here looking for the witches. I know they're over on the left. I'm pretty sure it's right at the end. And I know it's after the next waypoint. So basically I'm just heading north until I find a waypoint at this particular time. This little section here with the crabs, you can, if you want to. Don't, but you can, if you want to. Do Logorian Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I don't recommend it. If you kill him in here, you don't really get any good items, or at least no MIs from him are useful to this build. Having said that, it should be doable, but he's quite risky. A lot of cold damage. And you have to pay a dynamite for the privilege, so I would recommend not blowing this up. Is it just 1 dynamite? It's 3 dynamite. Okay. Very expensive way to kill yourself. So, definitely do not recommend it. The waist guards. So from the ghost crabs, you will get a +1 Inquisitor skills belt. That's not the one we're after. We want the +1 Soldier's belt, which you get from, here's the quest item, which you get from the regular crabs. Okay, as with all of the quest items, if you want to, you can take this and put it in your bank and see if you get another one to drop. And then you can take that one and put it in your bank and see if you can get another one to drop. And then you don't have to go looking for it in Ultimate or in Elite. Up to you if you want to bother. I generally don't. They tend to drop while you're running through the Ugdenbog. So it hasn't been an issue for me. Alright, I can see the waypoint up here. So now we start looking for quest updates again. So from here, actually I'm going to go down this way. There's an Ugdenbloom stump down here. So, no there isn't. Wait, yes there is. Nope, apparently I'm lost. I would have swore there was an Ugdenbloom stump there. Anyway, instead of that, we'll head north a little bit, hugging this right side, and there will be a doorway you can see there on the map. We're heading to that area. This is a little secret area as well, if anyone's interested. Where is it? Nope, it's not. There is a few areas like this, though, where you can walk off the side. I would have sworn it was there. But I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I do easily get turned around in these swamps. Okay, dwelling entrance. We don't need to go in there yet. We will be coming back for her later. From here, we are looking for an unmarked cave. So it could be here. If you find it here, go on in, and maybe just fast forward, or wait until I get to mine. But there's a cave in this little section that is not marked on your map, and that was one of the locations it could have been. It's not there, unfortunately. I believe it can also be along this right side, but we may run into Ugdel's little cave first. Unfortunately for Ugdal and for me, I don't think I have a Wendigo spirit yet, so I'm going to walk past his cave for now. We could also be heading left here. I think this is where the witches are, around about this level, but they are on the left side, as I said. Okay, I think one of the cave entrances is along here somewhere. I wanted to say here, but it could be slightly off. Maybe it's here. Anyway, along this edge somewhere is another one of the potential locations. This cave here, there's an NPC at the end that you can rescue or release, and he will give you some reputation, and I think you give him a Wendigo spirit to release him, and I think he gives you an ethereal missive? Some other rare crafting component anyway. Right. So we're skipping him for now because I don't have a Wendigo spirit. I will get one later. There is one available as a quest reward later on in this act. I forget exactly where it's from. I think it's from returning the item to the Witch's Coven. Okay, here is our traveling witches, so we'll send them back to the Coven. Alright, and we now have, I think, one location where I can find the undergrowth, which should be just over here, surrounded by the Wendigos, or these things, leaf mains. And Bargol, good old Bargol. This guy will occasionally just jump out of the ground at you. We're a force wave soldier, we just kill him. It's not a problem. Here we go. Here is the last potential location. One thing I am going to do though, little optimization that I never remember to do. I'm going to drop a portal here, and then I'm going to continue up here because the Barrowholm Rift is just around the corner. So we'll go do the Barrowholm Rift, we'll port back to that rift I just dropped. Then we'll do the undergrowth and save us a little bit of walking. Okay, in we go. Now there's a ton of poison damage in here, so make sure your poison resistances are under control before you come in. I'm not going to say you need 100% captive resistance all the time, but yeah, you kind of need 100% or 80% resistance cap all the time from this point forward. There is, fortunately, there is an exalted chest in here as well, so we do get that, which is nice. Unfortunately, this place is an absolute nightmare to actually walk through because you get caught on every... where are they? Where is one? Here. So I'm trying to walk through here. For some reason, the game doesn't realize that this is in the way, so it won't let me... where it won't go around, but it also won't let me through. So the pathing for this expansion can be somewhat frustrating. Okay, here is our Exalted Stash. There's only one place it is. It's always in this little section here. And you can come here and collect it. Free blue item. For us, or for me, it's Oathbreaker, which is not ideal. What's that, a pistol? Yeah. Okay, getting close to the end here. We don't actually have to kill all this stuff, you can just walk past it, assuming you can get around the plants that the pathing AI can't see. And I think there's, yep, here we go. A little bit of a hidden remains area here. So we're starting to get paladin stuff, lovely. If you happen to find any Death Knight items, they may be good for you, they may be really bad. It just depends what skills it rolls with. Alright, so here is Silvaria, Queen of the Undergrowth. Just for something different, we are going to stand still and force wave, and then pick up the loot. There are a lot of bodies and such around here, you can yell at them, and a lot of them will open. And on that note, we're done here, so now we can port to Barrowholm. And when we get to Barrowholm, we'll get to deal with the cannibals. Now, for this playthrough, doesn't really matter. If you choose to go hostile with them, this section will be a little quicker. If you choose to be friendly with them, you'll have a few extra augmentation options. I'm going to remain friendly with them because of the quest XP from doing their stuff, and because I may want to kill Ravager at some point in the future. So let's help each other out.
I can't open that.
I think, generally speaking, unless you are playing a build that needs like Namadia's Eye or something like that, there's not really any advantage to going hostile with these guys, so I generally don't. As long as we're here, let's run back over here.
Skill's not ready.
Playing that skater has really spoiled me for movement skills. It's quite hard to not want to be zooming all over the place. Okay, let's sell all of this rubbish. And that'll do. I'm not going to bother banking, because I would have to go back to the Coven for that, but
Can't do that
This will be fine. Okay, so the quests we just picked up are to refresh their wards, which is one of the first ones we're going to complete. And we also will have to fetch lunch for them. Rescue some travelers. We also have to clean the crabs out of the mine, which ordinarily is a bit of a chore. However, with this build, it's very exciting because there's MI belt in there that I want. Ancient heavy treads. What are they? Chaos resistance. Would have been good if it had some aether as well. The homestead boots with chaos and aether resistance on them can be incredibly hard to remove until elite, I guess. Alright, let's kill off some ghosts and some wendigos. You saw some quest update markers there. So we've already restored the northern ward, and we have already rescued the travelers in the north, so we don't need to go up there. If you hadn't already found the northern travelers, I would say go up there, but we did, so we won't. Okay, into the mine. Now you can stay here and farm up a better belt if you want to. You can clear this area a couple times if you want to. I'm just going to do it once, and if I don't happen to find the perfect belt, then oh well, not the end of the world. If you haven't got your Venom Gaze Bile, or whatever it's called, is it just Venom Gaze Bile? Yeah. If you haven't got this already, you can get it in here. But there are better places to find basilisks to kill. And do remember, we are here to kill all the crabs, not most of the crabs. You need to kill all of them. I think it's specifically the stone shell, stone hide, something like that. There's one type of crab anyway, and it's got a yellow name. Okay, sheltering of readiness. No. Readiness is good. Sheltering, not so much. I think ideally I want something like impervious of attack or something like that. Maybe of supremacy for a little more force wave skill points, although pretty close on force wave to maximum, so yeah, it'll be fine. So as you just saw, the scrap in here, the scrap piles in here can drop you dynamite as well as scrap. Do remember to walk into this area here because there's often crabs under the ground and they won't come out unless you stand on their heads. And there is also a treasure trove in here somewhere. Resistant, lightning and poison. Not horrible, but resistant of decay is kind of not great. So here's my treasure trove. I think this is the first place you can find it. But there's at least 2 or 3 different locations where it can be. And we have some hidden loot here. This is not an exalted chest or anything, it's just hidden spoils. But yeah, I don't know why, but I really enjoy those sort of hidden chests. They almost never give you anything good, but it's just fun to find them. Alright, unfortunately, haven't had a huge amount of luck with these belts so far. We've got 3 of them, but this one I think is the best one so far, and that's got a dead suffix and half a dead prefix, so it's not been great, shall we say. That's an Inquisitor belt, and we're starting to get onto the ice or the ghost crabs. No, okay. I thought that might have been one of the hidden areas. There is one hidden area in here. just over here, which can be fun. So Hidden Remains, Lake Plates of Valor, maybe? Same thing, isn't it? Okay, which one is better? These ones are better. So I'm going to put that on. Do I have an Ancient Armor Plate? I do. Beautiful. So we just picked up 20 odd hit points, 1% Fizz resistance, 4% PS resistance, and we've lost... we've lost 4% PS and we've gained 3% bleeding. Bit of a side grade, but more health is always welcome. I don't think I'm even going to bother getting that component back. Those ancient armor plates tend to be relatively common. I know it says that they are rare, but that they're not. Okay, crabs. So we've reached friendly with the Coven of Ugdenbog, which is nice. We haven't even turned in any of their quests yet, aside from the one that sort of unlocks them. So we'll have a look at their gear, but I don't think there's any MIs we want from them. Certainly not at level 40. I'm pretty sure their stuff is 60 or 55 or something like that. 65 maybe. Okay, once again, we stand still in Force Wave. Glacial of Prowess. That has some Aether resistance on it. Unfortunately, it also is +1 to Inquisitor skills instead of Soldier, so unfortunately no good. Alright, I believe we are done with the cave. When you go back, do make sure that you have walked in every little area, just in case there are some crabs that have not crawled out of the ground. I haven't had this issue while I've been recording for a little while now, but I definitely have had the situation where I've missed, one pack of crabs somewhere, and I've been unable to turn the quest in, had to come back and find the one pack, or reset and re-clear the mine. So make sure you find them all the first time, save yourself a bit of trouble later on. And I think we are done here. I don't see any major areas where I didn't go, although I can't remember going in here, so I'll just check. Yeah, I don't think there's normally anything in there anyway. Okay, I'm going to say I think we got them all. Okay, what is that one? That's Forsaken. We could go back and get that, I guess. I'm not going to, but we could do that. Stairs. Bane of my existence. I hope with Fangs of Astrakhan, when they add in a bunch of new nemesis, one of them just needs to be a flight of stairs. And all it does is it messes with your pathing, and maybe other things get to kill you. Really good joke monster. It'd be funny for like 2 people who watch my channel, and me, and no one else would know what it was about. Okay, so as you can see, these things drop like candy. You could go back to town, bank one, come back, get this one, go back to town, bank it, and then I wouldn't have to find one of these in Ultimate. Like I said though, I'm not going to do that. That was one of the last wards we needed. The actual last ward you can see on the map there is up ahead. So this ward. We also have one more group of travelers down here to rescue, and of course they're going to be in the last place I check. Mostly because they're always in the last place you check because you stop looking, but also because it's maximum annoyance. Alright, do a bit of a loop here, and then we head down south here. This little section here is a whole lot more fun in Ultimate when you've just got Nemesis with the beasts. And you're walking through here and constantly watching the map looking for that big skull icon. Just waiting to get jumped by Kubacabra. Okay. No travelers there, which means they are going to be in the last possible place. Okay, here we go. And we're done. Alright, open the rift gate, off you go. Sorry about your lives. Okay, and we are done. So, let's head back to Barrowholm, do a whole bunch of quest turn-ins, and then we'll, I think there's a couple more quests to do, then we head back to the Coven and give them their toy back. They will give us, I don't think it's a fry pan, but they'll give us the thing to open the portal, and we'll be on our way. Okay, here's Tyvold. Sure, what is it? Yep, I did indeed get all of the crabs, so beautiful. I don't have to go back and do it again. Okay, and that is 45, which means Spectral Wrath means that Spectral Binding now has some bite. So basically what this means is if anything hits me, like say an archer shoots an arrow at me and I catch it with my teeth, because I'm very dexterous, this is going to strike back at that archer. It does vitality and aether damage, which are not damage we are scaling currently, but it's not 0 damage. It will also shred their physical resistance and their attack speed. So this is really, really good. And later on, depending on what gear you find, you may find that you end up with the entire Krieg set, which you will, because we're going to farm it. And maybe you want to continue playing an Aether build. This skill is amazing for an Aether or a Vitality build. Because you're scaling the damage, it shreds their resistance to that damage, then it smacks them with that damage. It's really, really, really good. Okay, with that said, did we just get our Wendigo totem? No, we didn't. Okay, back to the Coven. I think we can turn in a couple of quests, and I'm pretty sure one of them is going to give us a Wendigo spirit. I think it's this one. It's not that one. Okay, alright, so Orgrim's keepsake. Oh, it was the frying pan. Okay. Will these suffice? Nope, it's not that one either. Already dealt with them. It's not that one either. Okay, we may be pushing up against the quests we can actually do here. Okay, was it that one? There we go. Okay, there's that Wendigo spirit. And we will turn this one in while we're here as well. Okay, next step is out in the Ugdenbog. We have the quest to deal with Laria the Hexer. This is Laria's house. We are going to go into her house and blow her head off. No, we're not going to do that. Although you could. You're basically choosing if you want Coven reputation or Barrowholm reputation, both of which are relatively easy to get, and you should be capped on both of them before you finish Ultimate, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to warn her about the cult and say that I cannot kill her. She'll give me a Wendigo Spirit. This, I think, is the one I normally use for Ugdal. Speaking of Ugdal, I think we're probably best served by just walking out of here to get to Ugdal. And the great thing about Ugdal, I'm getting tired of saying his name, but in the area where he lives there is a devotion shrine. It's basically free for just walking in there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk back through the swamp that we've already cleared out. And he's up here, so I might actually go left here. See if there's a couple of things to bash on the way. There isn't. Ooh. XP, lovely. And we'll cut through this little section that I didn't explore earlier. Okay, there is the map icon for his little house, or prison I guess you'd call it. And we'll head in there. Now there's a bunch of undead in here. This is, like I said, basically a free devotion shrine just for walking in. And depending on if you want the Wendigo Spirit or the Ethereal Missive, you may want to not let him go. You can fight him or release him, basically. I think releasing him gives you Coven reputation. it's good XP either way, and he doesn't have any MIs that we want. Okay, so here's Ugdal. Are you trapped? I will help you. Here's the spirit you seek. Rest in peace. Okay, so, yep, Ethereal Missive. And now we loot his room. There's also a law note just outside his room. And we'll just yell at the chests and human remains and stuff. Okay, let's head back to Barrowholm. We'll turn in that quest with Scorv, and he will tell us we're scum and we can't have any other quests. And then I think that'll be it for the episode. Having said that, I think 45 we get a new ring, so we can just straight up swap that. The elite version just gives you 6% to all of the resistances and 5% additional beast kin. I guess it gives you extra energy regen, but I mean, there's literally never been an issue for any soldier build ever.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Okay, +1 to soldier, no resist, blah blah blah. That one is probably the best option we've found so far. And this is actually the medal that I was going to use until I found the Marco Havel. So the Wendigo Glare gives you some physical damage baked into it, and also +3 to blindside and phys damage to blitz. Blindside is our source of defensive ability shred, so this is really good for bosses. You can use whichever one you like. I personally like adding a bunch of damage onto Warcry and being able to shout things to death. Just yell so loud that the bookcases explode. It's good fun. Okay, yes, I took care of her, and I'm a good boy. 2 Blood of Chthons. Okay, and... Okay, yep, he doesn't like us enough to give us the next quest. 3 more points into Spectral Wrath. We're starting to get a decent chunk of damage. But the 17% Fizz Res is what we're after. However, that'll about do us for this episode, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.